Hello, जिज्ञासा.
You should start, Sehaj.
Okay, ma'am.
है ना?
So,
सर
good
दोनों सर
morning,
ज्वाइन कर
everyone.
गए हैं, तीरथ सर भी एंड सियाल सर भी.
Okay, ma'am. I'll start.
ओके बेटा.
So, good morning, everyone. Today, I've been asked to give a talk on careers in biotechnology and preparation for exams for entering the masters. So, those are the two parts that I've divided my presentation in. So, first, let's look about careers in biotechnology. And since a large spectrum of audience is there here, right from B.Tech first year, and also have been told some M.Sc students are also there. So I've tried to address everyone's queries in this presentation. So let's start with B.Tech graduates. So you are actually beginners in the biotech world, and that is after your graduation. And you are the jack of all trades. You know a little bit of animal biotechnology, you know a little bit of plant biotechnology, little bit of microbiology, little bit of diagnostics. So that's a good introduction for all the fields, and that is actually one of the advantages of this course in the B.Tech level, when many of us are not very specific about what we want to do in future. It gives a very good introduction of all these fields, but this knowledge is not enough for pursuing a career in that field. You need a master's for specializing in one of these disciplines. And job opportunities are very rare in core biotech industry. Now, even in the masters, it's an awkward situation for me when some parents or relatives ask me, like, you must be one of those guys, na, who after your masters will be making a vaccine for corona. And it's hard to explain, no, that will take some 5, 6 more years. So this is one of the expectations, which is not very right, and people usually get disappointed because of this. There's a higher likelihood of your employment in allied industries. So let's have a reality check. Expectations are companies like Biocon, Bharat Biotech, and Novozymes right after graduation, and we expect to wear lab coats and work in biosafety level 2 with automated topics and all. Actually, this all does not happen. The reality is you'll be employed most likely in one of these firms like Tata Consultancy Services, SmartU, or Zycus Procurement Services. And most probably you'll be working from a laptop. And in the present situation, the likelihood is even more that you'll be working from your homes. Now let's come to masters. Now this is a specialization, and regarding your career, you should choose this very wisely. Like a specialization is very niche area in the wide field of biotech field. So you must know your goals. Like if you want to go for a job, or you want to go in pure research field in the academic field. For example, if you take us to a supervisor who is specializing in tissue engineering, you'll most likely be doing a PhD or a postdoc after that, because that is a purely research field. It's very nascent in nature. But if you work under someone who is working on monoclonal antibodies or process engineering, then that will ensure a higher rate of employment for you right after your PhD or right after your master's, in fact. Now, the core companies will welcome you with open hands. But if this is just enough to get into the core industry, then why do people study further? The thing is, masters will land you in the manufacturing area, QA or QC area. These areas can be, you can enter these with your B.Tech degree also, but chances are less, very less in fact. And research and development jobs are still rare for master's students. Some do get there, but then the promotion prospects are not very promising for them. So the reality is these big shot biotech companies, you'll be let into them. But all the research stuff, that's still little difficult, if not absolutely absent. So now comes the PhD. The PhD is the most controversial thing in a scientific career, although experts say it's one of the prerequisites. So a PhD can take your career to the next level. It establishes you as a researcher, an independent, innovative thinker, and not a person who will perform routine jobs, mundane jobs in a production facility. And this also opens your doors to an academic career, which is entirely different from an industrial career. Sorry. And postdoctoral research is also a next step for an academic career. Like the competition today is so intense, just a PhD won't be enough to get you an academic position in a premier reputed international institute. You'll need approximately 2 to 3 years at the minimum of postdoctoral research in an equally reputed university where you seek employment. Now, again, a reality check. After a PhD, the big companies will welcome you, and also you'll be able to do these high tech stuff, which people aspire in the graduate days. So it's a long road till there. And the career domains here, there can be many career domains because biotech is such an emerging field, and we have advances in other fields also, such as big data analysis. We have artificial intelligence coming up. So pharma companies right now are the biggest employers of biotech people. Wherever there is the word biologics or biosimilars, you see, there biotech is the workforce that is required. Food companies also like Del Monte, Heinz, and Nestle employ the biotechnologists for innovations in food products, and also allied sciences. Allied sciences, like companies like we have Thermo Fisher or Agilent Life Sciences, who do not actually make biotech products, but their products find a lot of application in biotech research. So now for these companies also the time has gone where they can just make a MSMS machine and provide it to the labs. They are developing solutions to ease the work of the researchers, and that's where your role comes into play. Now, the second part, how to prepare for admission to master's programs. So the qualifying exams like GATE, this is the gold standard for all biotech graduates. We have DBT JRF, that is bed test, and we have the latest, that is GATB, which will be starting from this year. Earlier, this was known as JNU CEEB, but since the agency that is holding the exam is changing, we must consider it as altogether new, because it's very it's naive to expect similarities in the pattern that used to be before and the pattern that will be now. Apart from that, there are university specific exams for places like Punjab University, the BITS institutes, and also for many others. Now, DBT JRF won't actually get you a master's program, but it can get you, if you qualify it, project work in one of the Department of Biotech affiliated institutes throughout India. So this is a good exam to attempt as a second option. If you don't get a master's enrollment, then this is good utilization of time rather than showing a gap year in your CV. So let's first discuss the GATE exam. Study well in class. I cannot emphasize this more. Like if you want to do well in GATE, and you just study well in class every day. Like it's really fortunate for us to have our syllabus, the JUIT syllabus, aligned so well with the GATE syllabus. Like there's nothing extra you need to learn. Just doing well in the class will itself get you a good score in GATE without even studying. This is one of the factors because of which I was able to qualify the GATE exam. And I would like to give an unconventional point here, that improve on your strengths and not try to focus so much on your weaknesses. First of all, the weakness, if you consider focus on it so much, it will decrease your confidence. And in GATE exam, you have the liberty of attempting or leaving out a question. So there, since there are no compulsory questions, you can always leave out without even bothering about the negative marking. And that's where these things play a role. Now, when they say certain subjects carry more weightage, that is true, but no weightage is so much, deciding that if you do this subject, you will pass, or if you don't do this subject, you won't qualify. The syllabus is so vast and varied that not more than 5 or 6 questions come from one single subject. So that's a strategic point there. And you must practice the questions from previous year's papers or from mock papers, because see, the basics are essential always. But in these exams, you'll get questions where you have to apply those basics. Now if you get these in a class, you can solve, but you'll take time starting from the grassroots level and then applying the logic. It'll take time. You might get nervous in the exam. A lot of things can happen which do not favor you. So it's always better to practice these questions beforehand, so you won't get nervous or scared when you see them in the exam. And you must check for the institute organizing the exam. So like I remember when I gave the exam in 2019, at that in that year IIT Madras was organizing this, and it's well known that the faculty there specializes in bioprocess technology. So that was a prediction that came out to be true, and it does come out to be true every year, that the faculty that's designing the paper, they put questions according to their own specialization. Now next, I'll focus on GAT-B, which is a very new exam. It's great to see our institute is also a part of this exam, and it's going to take place on 31st of this month, so time is really short. The syllabus is almost the same as GATE. The major difference that I found on my observation was that the mathematics here is the 10 plus 2 level, and in GATE it used to be, it was the engineering mathematics. So all the typical biotech people who are scared of maths, the stereotype exists. For you, it's a good news. Here the maths is of 10 plus 2 level. Now there's also huge margin of choice in section B. It's not as good as the GATE exam when you can just attempt as many questions as you feel like. Here, there will be 90 questions in section B, out of which 60 will be compulsory to attempt. So 30 questions leaves a large gap. But again, you cannot just strike out whole parts of the syllabus that I won't do this because this percentage won't be there. The questions will be distributed very well. And it won't be like giving advantage to people who are not efficient in one and efficient in the other. So there's a balance. So don't leave anything. Have a look on everything. Of course, improve your strengths and the weaknesses. Okay, so no much, we have so much less time for preparation, you can ignore them, but still I'd suggest brush up your basics. Now there's an interesting thing, there's no choice in section A, and also the negative marking is more severe in section A. In section B, that is the biotech part of the syllabus, you'll get 1/3 negative marks for a wrong answer, but in section A you lose half a mark for a wrong answer. So you can afford to make some wrong choices in section B, but not in section A. Also, that section is from the 10 plus 2 syllabus. It's my prediction that most of the people will take it lightly, but you should not. You should pay special attention to that, or I would say equal attention as much as section B syllabus. Section B syllabus, you will always be familiar since you must have prepared for GATE also. You can brush it up, but do pay good attention to the section A syllabus also. So that was all from my side for the examinations. Now there's always a question of if you want to do your masters abroad. Of course, in the field of biotechnology, it is well known that prospects are always better outside our country rather than inside. But since not everyone is able to make that decision, so I'll just lay out some points. The requirements vary a lot, country by country, university by university, course by course. There's not just M.Tech biotechnology. You can apply to n number of courses, master's courses abroad. There they offer a lot of flexibility. If you're willing to learn, they're willing to teach. That's how it works there. So common exams are GRE, IELTS, and TOEFL. So the requirement for these exams also varies course by course, area by area. Now you must shortlist some places where you want to go. Keep your goals in mind. You want to go for an academic career, you want to go for an industrial career, or you want to settle abroad. If that's your motivation for pursuing masters abroad, then you should consider the places from that lens, and also see which tests overlap the largest number of courses, because these tests are costly. They cost around 15,000 to 30,000 rupees per attempt. So do not waste your money so much. Prepare well for them. IELTS and TOEFL are English based tests. And for GRE, you'll have to prepare maths as well as English for the general paper. And another thing, publications help a lot when we are considering exam admissions abroad. So take your research seriously. And apart from that, I would also like to mention in a biotech career, you must learn to stay in the lab for as long as required. I remember cribbing about the fact that the lab is scheduled for only 2 hours in the timetable and we have to spend 4 hours. But now, as I'm doing my master's, it turns out how important it is. And without lab work, there's nothing in biotechnology. Even we look at all the big data and artificial intelligence things, the data sets they get, we generate that data by working in the lab. So you're playing a very important role in the whole landscape, and running away from the lab just won't help. So it's rather than cribbing, we must inculcate it as a habit, and that will be beneficial for all of us. So that was all from my side. Thank you, and now I'm open to questions.
Now this is Dr. Hemant. Hi, Sehaj. It's a
Thank you,
wonderful,
ma'am.
informative lecture, dear. Wonderful, informative lecture.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dear, what we did that we make the students to put through chat. Otherwise, there will be a chaos. Fine.
Okay,
So we put the questions in the chat. Let you please kindly go through the chat in the more option
sure, ma'am.
so that you can see what kind of questions people are asking. So till the people put your question, I think so there is a one question so far. Till then, I would like to ask a one question, Sehaj. When we talk
Sure,
about
ma'am.
staying in a lab during bachelor
Yes,
time,
ma'am.
you please
Yes.
kindly help us to make it out how we can make you all students to stay in a lab for a longer duration of time.
Ma'am, like I was also part of that crowd which did not like spending so much time in the lab. But I think positive reinforcement can be one of the strategies. Like we look at
Okay.
simple experiments, and if person gets the result right in the first go, they'll be motivated to come again in the lab and check for their plates whether growth is there or not, whether the contamination is there or not. Like
Okay.
I remember for the first 2 years people were not so interested, but in the third year when the winemaking thing started in the lab, people were interested because it was a series of procedures. First of all, there was the risk that if one of the part fails, it will lead to a cascade of failures in the coming weeks, and that would cause some a lot of extra burden. So project based learning, I think it's very motivating for actually for young minds. That's my view.
Because that what I was about to ask. Do you think so that project-based learning, we should transform our labs into a project-based so that students start staying more into the lab and they can make themselves more comfortable and more homely in the lab? So I think so project-based will
Yes,
be the
ma'am, definitely.
right concern.
Like once you get
Thank you.
involved in a project, there's your stake in
Yes.
it, and
Yes.
a
Yes.
commitment is there. So
Okay.
yes, and in the
That
world
makes a
of biotech,
difference.
it's all about projects. Even after the academic career, as scientists will have to
Yes.
go for projects. In industry, their work is
Okay.
all project based. So that's
Okay, Sehaj, just one more question. You ask about mentioning about the publications, fine, at a B.Tech level.
yes, ma'am.
Do you think
Yes,
that
ma'am.
even the conference publications, if students will get, that is even make some difference?
Ma'am, as far as I have communicated with my supervisors in the masters, they say that conference papers don't hold that much reputation as a research publication.
No, that I agree, dear. But at a bachelor's level, at a B.Tech level, when the work is not enough to make a journal level paper. So sometimes I think so as an initiator, a conference thing can be act as a, what you can say, a primer so that they can further synthesize more out of it.
Sure, ma'am. In any case, something is
Yes.
always better than nothing. Like I have
Yes.
people in my batch in masters who say that they have review articles, but when we check out,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
actually in predatory journals or journals without an impact factor. Now, when you consider the
Yes.
whole
Yes.
competitive
Yes.
landscape, you can't just compare yourself to the next person in JUIT. You have to start thinking about competing with the IITs, competing with ICT, and if there people
Yeah.
can do publications in good impact factor in bachelors, then we must also at least try for that.
Wonderful.
Uh,
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Sahaj. I think so. Now, sir is asking question.
Yes, sir.
Sahaj, it is a very good talk, and you presented your points very beautifully. And
Thank you,
I
sir.
hope that everyone had a benefit out of that. Uh, to add on this B.Tech publication, I still remember
Yes, sir.
one of probably your senior or maybe batchmate, Aditya Sahni. Do you remember?
Yes, sir. He was my senior in
Uh,
your lab.
he was your senior, okay. Aditya Sahni, actually, we had a conversation, I think 4 months back, and he told me that he published a paper in his B.Tech while working in JUIT, and on the basis of that paper he could get masters in sustainable technology and environmental field in Europe. So he told me that it was quite helpful when the screening was done. So I think this was a good point you highlighted, that BTech research paper along with GRE will make you a good candidate for masters and PhD program. And also, the other thing I would like to add, most of our students who are doing PhD abroad after direct B.Tech, so they did not have their masters done at JUIT or any other organization. They said that if the CGPA is more than 8 and they get a training opportunity abroad for a few months, and along with that they have a GRE, so they skip that masters and they get opportunity to have a direct PhD. So few of our students, like probably your junior Priya Saxena and Vagisha Sharma, after BTech now directly even file, they directly were enrolled in. So I think student, you rightly said that they should have a publication in the BTech final year project, and along with that they should also concentrate on good CGPA, because that is a good point. But at the same time, the limitation of skipping masters from like directly doing BTech, PhD after BTech, at time, when they come back to India, so many organizations, they feel that there should be a sequence of a qualification, which is masters and graduation and
Very
post
rightly said,
graduation
sir.
and
I
then
was
PhD.
about to
But
point out this.
yeah, yeah, but they are doing good, and hopefully they will be placed in the companies over there. But your presentation is so good. So I congratulate you for this and thank you for connecting us, and keep guiding your juniors, and keep connecting with all of us. It's a very good activity initiated by Synapse, and so beautifully arranged and done. And congratulations to all the coordinators also.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, everybody.
Sahaj. Hello,
Good morning,
sir.
sir.
Hello.
Hello, Sehaj. Thank you very much for the beautiful presentation. Uh, I just want to add few more things over here. As you said that for great preparation, students should be prepared. There are some queries also in the chat box waiting for you to answer. But before that, I just want to
Sure,
say
sir.
that as one query was also there. Bioinformatics students are asking, because GATE is based upon biotechnology syllabus, and we are
True,
having
sir.
little less content of biotechnology in our bioinformatics syllabus, which is actually not possible to include everything from biotechnology. So what is your opinion in that? And additionally, I want to ask you one more thing. As you are in masters now, do you feel that our JUIT biotechnology curriculum needs a little bit more flavor of bioinformatics also? We already have one or two paper, but do you think when you are doing the data analysis, data management, data mining, and all bioinformatics, do you think biotechnology students should give more exposure to maybe one or two important papers from computational domains? What are your views on that?
Sir, I have also studied bioinformatics paper in my master's, and I was surprised to know that half of the course was repetitive there. So we are actually pretty good on a bachelor's level, keeping in mind the wider context. So that's there. And regarding GATE preparation for bioinformatics, sir, it just came to my mind that now we also have a minor project for B.Tech students in the third year. Am I right, sir?
Yes.
So what the bioinformatics people can do, it's just an idea which just came to my mind. that the project work for fourth year can be started from third year onwards, so that the last semester or time before the gate exam, they can spend some time crash learning for the gate BT exam.
Okay. Yeah, actually, we have started this minor project thing. So some of our biotech students already opt for bioinformatics minor. So that's
That's
good for
great,
them.
sir.
And similarly, bioinformatics students can opt for minor biotechnology. So this is what we have already planned and implemented actually. So I hope it is definitely going to help the students for GATE preparation, even for masters if they want to go abroad or from India also.
Sure, sir, you're very right. And I have received positive feedback from my juniors regarding this also.
Yeah. Now I would like to request you to see the chat box. There are few queries, so it's better you can answer those also. So students
Sure,
will
sir.
also get more motivated from these queries.
Yes, sir. I'll start taking them one by one. So it's from Utkar Srivastav. And how do we decide on which questions to attempt and which to leave in an exam, considering the online mode of examination and the limited time allotted?
वो पीने वाला पानी है सारा
Like I remember
जहाँ
when
बर्तन सब
I
रखे हैं बाल्टी ढक
attempted the
के रखी है
exam,
वो सारा
time
पीने
was
वाला
not
पानी
an issue. So you'll never run short on time in exams like GATE. These are MCQs. You'll either know them or you won't know them. And there's also a very good option. You can mark the questions which you want to revisit after going through all the questions for the first time. So I'd say when you don't have a limited number of compulsory questions to attempt, don't attempt any one which you're not sure about. But before going to exam, just keep your goal in mind and think how many marks you want to obtain to get into the institution of your liking. Excuse me. And if you have crossed that number, then there's no need to take any risk. Like I remember I gave my gate in a pretty casual manner, and afterwards I realized I could have scored much better if I would have not lost my marks on the negatives. So that's a mistake. It'd be great if you won't make. So go for only those which you're confident. And if that number is too low, then you can start taking some risks. I hope that answers the question. And next is, being a bioinformatics student, how do you plan to prepare for GATE exam? I'll consider mostly biotechnology. So I think I've answered it already to Tirath sir. A regular approach, I don't think will be too great because the biotech syllabus is not related to the bioinformatics syllabus. And it will be like compromising on both the grade preparation, you won't be able to do it well, as well as it will put extra strain on your bioinformatics development also. So I'd suggest crash preparation at the last to qualify the exam. After that, if you get into a bioinformatics or a computational biotech degree, then you won't be really expected to know all the biotech stuff. You'll be evaluated on the basis of the computational biotechnology knowledge. Like we have triple IT college in this GAT-B exam. There also, unfortunately, you have to give a biotech exam for entry into a computational bio program. So that's what I suggest. So next is, you can clear something regarding NBRC and IMHANS types of exams for masters in neuroscience. I'm very sorry, I don't know about all these. NBRC is, as far as I know, National Brain Research Center, and they must be carrying out their individual exams. I'm not aware about them. I'm sorry. I can get back to you. Yeah, you can contact me on mail or anywhere, and we can discuss it further. So this is an interesting question. Being a first year student, what is the best time period to start preparing for GATE exam? You can make CGPA your target. If you get more than 8.5, you're going good. But you should not get that 8.5 by just studying one night before the exam and mugging it all up and vomiting out on the paper next morning. If you retain it, nothing better than that. When you'll start preparing for GATE, like seriously for the exam in the final year, you'll actually realize how good it is for you. And one more thing I would suggest, that refer books instead of slides. Slides should be only for classroom teaching and studying should be from the books. And whenever you feel the concept is difficult to understand, the books explain concept beautifully. Like I still refer the book recommended by Sir Klug and Clummings for genetics. You always get many questions from Mendelian and non-Mendelian genetics, even in the net exams. That's for PhD. So books are always good. Like something is better than nothing. If you're not referring to books, make notes of the slides in the class, because there also the materials are taken from good books. So make the most of it. These notes will help you in your final year preparation. Don't lose those notes, please. So next is, how much time per day on an average do you think we need to invest solely for the preparation of entrance exams? Like if you're in the last month, give it all you can. This time won't come back. But if you're starting gradually, it's a trade-off. The earlier you start, the easier you can go. But whatever time you devote, you must devote it seriously. College life is great. I have spent my best years in JUIT, but trust me, had that last semester been better, I would have been in a better place. Of course, no regrets, but that's a fact. So try to manage your time, and on an average, I mean, see, in my case, I cannot sit for long hours at a stretch. My concentration does not allow me. I have a very distracted mind. So I sit in parts. I take regular breaks. So do it as it suits to you. And of course, if you're low on motivation, talk to the people around you. It would be great if the students of JUIT make a group which is motivated, and you can help yourselves as well as others. Trust me, there's no need of worrying that if I'll help the other person, they'll get the rank and I'll go down. It does not happen like that. So, and should we prepare for general GRE as well along with life sciences? So if you're talking about GRE life sciences, all the my seniors that I know who have gone to foreign universities using GRE, they have only gone through the general paper and not the life science one. So of course you should check with the websites or the institutes that you're willing to apply to, and there you can get the right results. Our engines, ISC and or CSIR types of issue. So for CSIR is a research institute. There you can pursue your PhDs. I don't think they offer master's program. So of course you're eligible for PhD right after B.Tech. Give the net exam. Don't wait. What's the worst? You won't qualify. At least you'll know how the exam is. Maybe in future you'll give it. I have people in my masters who are actually who are well informed than me at their bachelors. So they gave DBT exams. They qualified it. They gave the CSIR net. They qualified it, and they even went for the interviews. Now, interview is a very valuable experience, and it will lead to a lot of self evaluation and self growth. So do go for them. And IC Bangalore, you can go through GATE only. If you get a very good GATE score, you can even enroll for the PhD directly there. GATE is also a very good means to pursue PhD if you get the top strata rank. Nothing like it. Forget about NET. GATE will do it for you.
Sahel,
And do
just
the
want to interrupt you for a
yes, sir.
minute, just a minute.
No
Here is an
problem, sir.
announcement for everybody. A link for Google response form will be sent to you for the feedback of this sign-up webinar. So I request everybody to please fill it, because we need to maintain the record also. Thank you.
Now, there's a question: is it important to go with M.Tech degree in biotechnology department for better placement? Like biotechnology is such a varied field, as I told you. The field in which you do your M.Tech will really determine your employability. The field should be a established field like process engineering, on which the whole industry is based, or rather a new technology which is established enough being used in industry. For example, RDNA technology in CHO cells is the one which is used for developing biologics, biological medicine, and humulin, sorry. So if you go for projects like that, you choose your supervisors accordingly. That will help you in getting the placement. And if and one request to all of you: don't look at placement in terms of money, because if you that you'll always regret, kash maine computer science le li hoti. But it's does not work that way. Do what you like, and then money won't matter, and that is how employee satisfaction is achieved. I've been to many job melas in my college, and that's what all the top company executives repeat again and again. So any competitive book recommendation for practice? You can find these books like Gate 2020, Gate 2021 in the library. they give a good coverage, but that won't compete to your personal preparation which happens in the classroom. Or rather, if you can at the time of gate preparation collect the presentations from the teachers for the previous years, then that will also do very well. Now you see in these competitive books you can find questions, sample questions, that's great. You do check the publisher. Some publishers are very famous for giving wrong answers for their questions. Consult them with your teachers, discuss them. Since my time, I know it still must be going on that gate preparation classes are being organized on Saturdays and Sundays for the final year students. Do use them for your doubts, do participate in them sincerely. That's my take on competitive books. And next is, what do you suggest about CSIR examination for life sciences? Now, net life sciences syllabus is very vast. You'll have to cover botany, zoology in great detail, microbiology. Botany, zoology, I'm emphasizing because they are not a considerable part of our B.Tech curriculum. But that is after M.Tech. Like Sir said, skipping an M.Tech for the PhD might result in some hindrances after a long time in your employment, or rather at the time of a promotion. Like, consider this, there's a situation, two people are competing for a promotion, you who has done B.Tech and PhD, and another person who has done B.Tech plus M.Tech plus PhD. Now in the short run you might think, I have saved 2 years of my masters, but then later when you have to wait for 3 years for the same promotion, that will be 1 year lost. So in the long run, 1 or 2 years don't matter so much. Go for the masters and then go for PhD. In fact, a master's curriculum will also help you to better prepare for the PhD net exam. Other than that, you can consult the syllabus and check the things which align with your present curriculum, make them your strong points, and then afterwards work on these areas like botany and zoology. So I think I've addressed all the questions. If there's any still left, you can message me here, or you can message to me afterwards. You guys have my number. You can have my email ID, and I'll share also this presentation with you that I presented. Any queries, always there to help.
Sahaj, it would be very, very enlightening for everybody, I think. So you made our Sundays.
And from student coordinators, if anybody want to interact, Chavi is there, Jigyasa, Khushi, Utkarsa, Tanvi, are you there?
I'd like to congratulate all the organizing team. I've been in their shoes and I know how difficult these things can get. And I know this is not possible, such good participation without the wholehearted support of the faculty as well as the students. So congratulations to all of you also.
Yeah,
It's
thank you,
great
Sahaj.
to see.
Thank you. Thank you, Sahaj. Sir, I think so 1
And
minute left now.
Yeah.
So sir, I think so let's sign off.
Yeah, I think nobody from student coordinators.
So they, I think so, put their questions in the chat,
Yeah, yeah.
sir.
Okay, so thank you very much,
That's
Sahaj, and all the team of Synapse, Hemant ma'am, Sayal sir, thank you for coming here again. And we will be doing it regularly. Okay, so we will invite more.